Hello and welcome to Hyperlocal in Huntsville. I am so thrilled today to have Megan Groth with me again. And we are actually going to do something unique. So, Megan, when you came on before, we had a conversation about your business. And that's what we do here at Hyperlocal in Huntsville, as I highlight and I feature local entrepreneurs. And um, it was just really great learning about you. And if anybody wants to know more about your business, they can go back and look at your interview in on YouTube. But today, I've asked Megan to come on because she and I have done a little bit of work together on interviews on the computer, on social media, and so forth. And I know that she will be great at this. So I've asked her to help me out with something, and that is what I'm calling a reverse interview, where the podcast person is being interviewed by a guest. And so I'm going to ask Megan to interview me because I am an entrepreneur and I spend my time focusing and highlighting entrepreneurs. And I thought, well, I like to tell a little bit about what I do. So this is going to give me that opportunity. So, Megan, thank you for being willing to come on and do this with me today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Sarah. I'm actually excited. The tables are returned here. I get to do the interviewing. That's so fun.
Absolutely. Well, I think it'll be fun too. I agree. I mean, kind of. I think it's actually more fun interviewing someone else. I feel a little more nervous about it now that I'm being interviewed. Now I'm thinking, I guess maybe if nothing else, it's putting myself in the shoes of my guest because now I'm thinking, oh no, what am I going to say? You know. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to you and let you be the interviewer, and I'll be the interviewee.
Okay, well, great. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Megan, and I get the privilege of interviewing Sarah. And I'm excited to hear about a little bit more about you and what you're doing in your businesses. So please tell us a little bit about what you do, Sarah, and a little bit about who you are.
Okay, sure. So I usually ask this question of every guest that comes on, and I typically expect them to say a little bit about themselves personally. So I'm going to throw that in. I am a mother of three daughters, and my husband and I, he's the father of my children, and he is also the grandfather of our three grandchildren. So I'm a grandmother of three precious grandsons, and they are just the joy of our lives. We absolutely adore those boys, and we feel incredibly thankful for family. So I'm really a lot about family. I'm also about faith. That's a huge part of my life and very important to me. And but as a mom, grandmother, a person in the community, I'm very concerned about people in general. I'm a former teacher. I have a master's degree in education. I taught in public, private, and homeschool education for over 20 years. And but at a certain point, I thought, I want to switch gears. I want to do something, try something different. And so I pursued getting my real estate license, which I did do. And of course, anytime you go into a business, I don't know, maybe if you've never been in business, maybe it's not happened to you, but if you've ever tried to do a business, there are a lot of naysayers, and almost everyone tries to convince you not to do it. So if anyone has made it to the point of actually selling a house, they've been through a lot before that point. But now I'm a realtor here locally, and I've been a realtor for 8 years and love serving people in the community. I really enjoy welcoming people into the community who are newcomers, and we have quite a few of those, and just introducing them to the city that I love, that I call my hometown. And I am a true Huntsville native. So that's something that is a bit rare as time goes on, it seems. I did live out of state for about 7 years, but aside from that time, I've been a resident of Madison County, if not Huntsville, in the vicinity of Huntsville in Madison County.
That's awesome. And I love that you like welcoming new people because I was new to Huntsville once and it is hard to to move to a new community. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so let's focus first on your real estate business because I know that's what
Okay.
you've been involved with the longest. And then
Hmm.
I'm going to want to move to maybe talking a little bit more about your recent health related business.
Hmm.
So let's start with that. What unique qualities and experiences set you apart in your real estate business?
Well, different things. I think every realtor is unique, quite frankly, because every realtor takes a different approach to serving their clients and customers. And I really, because of my background as an educator, I realize the importance of educating my clients. And a realtor is a fiduciary. So we are looking after the best interest of our clients. And I take that very seriously. And I want to provide the highest caliber service for my home buyers and home sellers. And I stay very current with local developments in the industry. I'm a part of a brokerage, EXP. It's a cloud based brokerage, but it's a very agile business model. And I'm able to stay very current and updated on things happening in the industry. And we've had quite a few changes in recent years that has uh, kept the realtors in your lives' heads on a swivel, if you will. We are constantly, it's like, what? We need to do this? Oh, that's illegal tomorrow, And I mean, seriously, it's that bad, So we're just having to make sure we're doing, not doing anything we're not supposed to do. And it's not like the things that could be quote unquote illegal are necessarily horrible things. It's just that it's now not the law anymore. What was one thing one day is a different thing the next. And so, but I'm thankful that I'm the type of person that I embrace change. I'm willing to handle that. I don't feel like I get stuck in a rut. And I enjoy a variety in my life and in my business. And so I enjoy the multifaceted nature of real estate. So when it comes to working with buyers or with sellers, they're two totally different things. But I really love that. I thrive on it. It's like once I spent a little time with one thing, then it's like, oh, good, here I get to go do this other thing. And I love that about it. I know some people that would probably drive them nuts. But for me, I love it. I absolutely love it. So
That's
yeah, I would say being an educator, educating my clients, working on their behalf. I'm used to doing that as a teacher, as a mom, as a grandmother. The mama bear comes out, but not only that, the realtor kicks in, and I go tooth and nail, for my clients, not in a bad way. I think people don't understand that when you're in a real estate transaction, there's give and take. It's not like all take, all take, all take. It's certainly not all give, all give, all give. I mean, it's just like any kind of relationship. There's give and take. And so I think that I get some great results for my clients by being able to work well and play well in the sandbox with the other people involved in the transaction.
awesome. Yeah. Okay. So I know you touched on this just a little bit in terms of the, changes that happen in your industry. So is there
Yeah.
anything else you'd like to add in terms of how you stay relevant with all of
Mm.
those changing developments?
Oh, absolutely. Well, so, we are required, like most professions, to have continuing education. And so I have several designations where I have, studied certain topics thoroughly, and it helps to equip me to be a better buyer agent or a better listing agent. And that's ongoing. So I'm continually having to learn new things. And then I do more than that as well, more than just what's required, because there's always something new to learn and always room for improvement. And I want my clients to have the best. And so, yes, I'm
Okay,
always doing continuing ed and learning.
okay, and so then if you want to describe your approach, your unique approach to serving your clients and your customers, what does that look like for you, Sarah?
Right. Well, so I don't just, I look at the life of the person. I take very seriously that where this person decides to move, they are going to plant their lives there. And this is going to be life changing. It could impact literal history, where they end up choosing to live. I mean, seriously, if you think about it, um, who their children marry. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like it is a very important thing. and I don't take it lightly. I make sure that I am not trying to give them my ideas of what they should want. I'm trying to get what they want, but then I'm bringing my experience to bear on that to give them recommendations, and then they can take it or leave it. I mean, at the end of the day, my opinion is my opinion. Now, I don't give my opinion to people that are not my clients. I can only do that with someone who's a client. But I also keep, a vetted list of vendors that I can recommend to my clients. And I'm continually vetting that list to make sure that I'm recommending the best possible vendors for my clients. So I don't know that I answered that question very well, because it's not just one thing, it's multifaceted, as that word has already been thrown out. But it is my goal to not only meet their expectations, but to exceed them.
Nice. Okay. So, how do you hope that your business will impact the community or just the industry, right, in the long run?
Well, I think, real estate agents are a part of the fabric of the community, honestly. And we do a lot of volunteering, and we do a lot of giving back. And like through our company, EXP, we have a day every year where the agents come together and we serve in the community. And I have been the lead for that in the state of Alabama. In different ways. And one year I was the lead for the whole state as well as for the county. And then I was actually also awarded a culture award for the state of Alabama through EXP because of my involvement in our volunteerism. And the organization that worked with a couple different ones. Led us in helping Lincoln Village Ministries, which is an organization in Huntsville that is amazing. And if you don't know anything about it, look it up. It is a model for the rest of the country on helping families, most of the time single moms, to be able to meet the needs for their families. And they're able to live in a renovated home while they get the training they need to get out into the workforce. They have 5 years where they can live at a very affordable rent. And then, but it's a program that they have to apply, and there's a process. Takes a while to get into it, but then once they do, then they're in that little safe haven for that 5 year period. And then with the goal of them being out, and then, getting their own home, maybe sometimes through Habitat for Humanity or other organizations. I've also led a local blood drive as part of this, and we were able to, and a food drive. I forgot about that. So I've done a food drive helping with Manna House and the local food bank of North Alabama. So just a lot of different organizations that I've been able to select and to get other agents on board to serve and to help make a difference in the community.
I love that. I love how you're giving back to the community. That's awesome. Okay. And so, let's transition a little bit to your other business, because recently you
Yeah.
started another business. And so, tell me a little bit about what even motivated you. It sounds like you're really busy with the community and with your real estate business. What motivated you to start this other business?
Well, I guess if we could step back a bit and think, when you get busy with your job, like I was, and then we had a period of time when my mom had had a stroke, and we had her, because she was unable to walk after the stroke, she came to live with us for 3 years. And during that time, I didn't really notice it happening, but over time, I was starting to put on some weight, and I could tell my health was not going in the right direction, and I could not seem to lose weight for anything. Um, Fast forward, one of the things I learned is that when you're under stress, cortisol has an effect on your metabolism and your body. And basically what that can do when you're under a lot of stress, it is the equivalent of, and I'm just going to pretend this is a spoon here. It's like you're just eating sugar. Okay. I mean, it's like you're eating sugar. And your body that's how the metabolic response of the body to the stress. So we need restorative sleep. We need to be able to manage our stress. And so you can, and for over a year, I was trying not to get on statins, my doctor was saying, hey, your cholesterol levels are really high. I think we might need to look at statins. And I'm thinking, what? They've never been high before. But, after menopause and after certain life changes, um, things that may not have been a problem when you were younger, suddenly your blood work starts to look different. And it's not that those things weren't a problem before, it just wasn't showing up in the blood work, but then it accelerates when your body changes as we age, especially for women. And so I was finding that, a lot of changes are happening in my body. It's affecting my blood work. I can't keep my cholesterol levels in a range that the doctors are saying is okay. So they're saying I need a statin. And I'm hearing statins have a lot of bad side effects. So my doctor was in agreement for over a year. Let's try to avoid the statins and see if we can control it with diet. Well, it barely moves the needle. What I didn't realize is the stress. I don't care if I don't eat a dessert at all, or if I'm, doing a lot of exercise or what. If I'm so stressed out, my body is still basically eating sugar. Okay. And so my things are happening in my body from the stress that it's not that it's just too many things were going on. A year later, my triglycerides shot up to over 300. Well, that terrified me and my doctor. And with my mom having had a stroke, I thought, yeah, I don't want to end up in the same situation my mom is in. And maybe it's just best that I go ahead and take the statins. So I started the statins. I was on them for 5 or 6 months. And then I was introduced to a protocol that was something that honestly, it sounded too good to be true. And I thought, well, how could that be? Because what it is, it's a protocol that addresses insulin resistance. And if you've not heard of insulin resistance, look that up. It is a condition that precedes like type 2 diabetes. It precedes, stroke and heart attack and belly fat, and a lot of things that people, insulin resistance causes most of our metabolic disorders. And so, if we can get a hold of insulin resistance, if we can become more insulin sensitive, then we can reverse the conditions that are metabolic health problems. So, when I learned about it, I thought, oh, wow, how is it that, all of these different conditions, stroke, heart attack, high blood pressure, diabetes. I don't know, I'm going to look at something. Oh, PCOS for men, erectile dysfunction. There is a root cause here that is driving health problems in our country. And a lot of it stems from the fact that our food is devoid of fiber. The manufacturers take the fiber out of our food. And, it keeps us from feeling satiated when we eat. So we end up with not enough fiber. And then we have a lot of additives, a lot of preservatives, a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs in our foods. And carbs turn to sugar. And what I'm learning is really the triglyceride level and the ratio of the triglycerides to HDL ratio is very important, is more important than some things that I've been looking at. Anyway, I've improved this significantly, but what happened was I was running my real estate business, taking care of my mom, doing all the things, had started statins, and had put on some belly fat. I've never really carried belly fat, but it was just not coming off, and nothing I could do seemed to help. So I started a protocol that started changing that in my life amazingly. And it was very natural. It's done with a nutraceutical and a natural protocol. And I was like, this is helping me so much. I cannot help but tell others about it, because think about all the people I know around me who are struggling with very similar things. And so I'm very passionate about this. As you can tell, I'm passionate about real estate, but I'm also passionate about this. So now I'm back in the boat of, okay, when am I going to sleep? But I've decided I must have my rest, and I do have to sleep.
Best
I'm
type
doing
of the best type of businesses are the ones that you are passionate of. And it's
Absolutely.
not work. It is
Hmm.
your mission, it is your
Yes.
calling, and I can hear your passion in that. So I love that. So tell me just a little bit more about how you work with clients with your metabolic health business
Hmm.
and and what is it that your metabolic health business focuses on
Mm.
specifically with clients?
Right. Well, so what I do is I help educate once again. I mean, education, it just comes back to that all the time. I want to help educate people about insulin resistance, number one, help them to understand what that is, and then help them to understand how that impacts metabolic health as a whole. Help them to understand that a lot of what we've been told has been like literal lies. But and why? Okay, let me just ask this. Anybody out there watching this, if you're in my generation and you were raised on the food guide pyramid, like the food guide pyramid, I remember 4432 Mulligan stew and had a comic book about Mulligan stew. And we learned that in elementary school. Okay, so what is 4432? Well, I'll just tell you the base of the pyramid, one of the fours down there is your grains and wheat and things that are loaded with carbs. And remember, carbs turn to sugar. So it's not to say you can't ever have any of those things, but you've got to look at this food guide pyramid in a whole different light. And so we actually have a revised food guide pyramid that's better. So I do have a page. It's called Healthy Living with Sara on Facebook. And what I do there is I provide education for people about how to improve their metabolic health so they can turn their health around. And then there are also some products involved that if they want to kind of press the easy button on making the changes, and that's what I really needed to do was to like have something that was going to jumpstart me because like I said, I've been trying. It was just like pushing up against a brick wall that just wasn't moving. And everything that I had done in the past that might have been effective was no longer effective. And so, after I've been doing this for goodness, let's see, about ten months now. And okay, so this will freak people out when I say this. So I'm going to preface it with some things first. There is no Ozempic involved in this. There is no semaglutide involved. I am not giving myself shots. It's a nutraceutical. It's literally two products. It's a tea and a fiber. The tea um, is a highly concentrated and purified form of yerba mate. And it's not just any yerba mate. It's very high in chlorogenic acid, which is extremely healthy, very good for you. I had been told when I was 13, and this is back further in my health journey, that I had low blood sugar. And back then at age 13, they said, what you need to do to keep your sugar levels normalized is to eat multiple small meals a day. So I thought having a little snack every couple of hours is healthy for me. I mean, I literally thought that was what I needed to do to keep me from feeling jittery, to keep me stable. and and honestly, back then when I was a young teen, I did have some fainting spells and things, and so I could see why I might need something. But at the same time, now I've learned through this protocol that I can go without eating every 2 hours of the day. And I actually now fast almost every day. So part of this is fasting. And if you think you can't fast, if I can fast, then you can probably fast. Most people should be able to fast. Think about it. Think about our ancestors. Do you think that there was a convenience store on every corner when our ancestors were out hunting and gathering? Probably not. They would go sometimes for lengthy periods of time without food, but they could handle it because their bodies were accustomed to that. And um, so now it's not hard at all for me to go through the fasting period. But when I break my fast, I do it every day, breaking my fast with nutritious, healthy food. And so we help to educate people on what should you break your fast with, and eating your food in a certain order can make a difference. So there's so many things that are really simple things, not hard to do. The other part of that protocol is fiber. I told you that the fiber has been taken out of our food. And so this protocol involves a soluble and insoluble fiber that you drink, and it coats your intestinal lining and it coats the food as you're eating it. It helps to it helps you to digest the food. It's like a prebiotic and a probiotic all in one, and it keeps your blood sugar from spiking after a meal. When your blood sugar spikes, what else spikes? Insulin. Okay, and so we want to keep that insulin from spiking too high all throughout the day, like I used to do every time I was eating. And now that keeps it controlled by adding something natural back into my diet. It's not taking the spike totally away, but it's just making it so that it's more of like if you eat an apple, it's got fiber on it, right? The outside of an apple has fiber. If you put, now this is something that I've learned too, is smoothies, when you chop them up, you eat way too much of something that fruit can be wonderful for you, can have some health benefits and antioxidants, but it's also got a lot of carbs. And so I'm controlling those healthy carbs, not overindulging in those. But just think about making a smoothie with 10 apples in it. Who eats 10 apples? But if you put 10 apples in front of you and you try to eat all those apples, so if you eat an apple, you're eating that fiber. So by adding the fiber back in, we're not doing anything unnatural. We're just kind of putting the fiber back where it's been not included in our food products, and keeping our insulin from spiking. So anyway, there's just a lot of things, and you can do the protocols without the products and get some benefit from it. And I have people tell me all the time, "Hey, I'm doing what you're saying, and boy, it's helping me." But then when I have people that get on the products and the nutraceutical, they're amazed, and it can really turn their health around, especially if you're stuck. And that's where I was really stuck. So I'm very thankful that this business came into my life. It was just sort of an unexpected business, but it just kind of flows naturally because I'm really about the whole person. I really care about people, about their physical, mental, and spiritual wellness and health state, or in this business that I'm giving something that is bad. I'm providing good service. I'm providing something of value to people. Otherwise, it's not worth hiring me, if I'm not giving you some value. So I think that's very important to provide value. And I think both of these businesses do that beautifully. So just FYI, I was sharing this with Megan. My real estate business logo, because I live out in the Cove area, is Cove Living, brokered by eXp Realty. And so my health business has a similar logo, and it's Healthy Living with Sara. I can help you find a house, and I can help you get healthy too.
I love that you've married those two together, and I love that you feel like this is your mission because you're passionate about both. So if there's one thing that your audience can take away about this interview and about your businesses, what do you feel like that would be? And from hearing you, it's right, your passion for this mission that, you've been given to help people. But what would you say it would be?
For you guys, if you are struggling with metabolic health issues, then talk to me. I know you might think, oh, well, I've tried everything and my doctors told me, and I don't want to take anything away from our doctors. Our doctors are some of the most brilliant people on the planet. But if your doctor hasn't solved it for you, a lot of times it's because they have been, a lot of our medical schools and other, they're highly and heavily influenced by the pharmaceutical industry. Okay. And I think most of them, if they're honest, would have to say that that is true. And so you go to your doctor, they're going to try and give you medication. If there's a way to solve your problem naturally, then why not go that route? And we're having people who have some serious health issues reverse it. We're having people with type 2 diabetes that are no longer in that range with their A1C. They're getting out of that range. My triglycerides, I told you, were over 300. They're down below 70. So the one takeaway, I know that's kind of a big answer to the one takeaway, but it is that I feel incredibly blessed to live in a country where I can pursue a passion that I believe strongly in. And I'm not having to do something illegal or something, like selling something that is suspect or cheap or that's not any good, to make a living. I'm thankful that I get to provide top quality service for people as a realtor and provide amazing, top quality, cutting edge resources for people for their metabolic health.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so where can your audience find you if they want to find you for either of these businesses? How can they do that?
Well, I think what we'll do is we'll link them in the comments. But I have a business Facebook page for real estate. I also have a business Facebook page for Healthy Living with Sara. Of course, I have a website for real estate. I probably have several little websites out there, but I'll put my main website and and then of course my phone number. I'm a realtor, so that phone number gets out there, but I will put it in the comments as well so that you can send me a text message, give me a call if you need to, and I'd be happy to, get you connected where you need to be with either a house or your health. your
Great.
your your bodily home or your home that you live in.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Sarah. I've learned so much about what you do, and
Oh,
really excited to learn more as I listen to more of your YouTube
oh,
channel.
well, thank you, Megan. And Megan, you are such a good sport. Thank you so much. You've come on and done a great job interviewing me and doing this little reverse interview today. And I don't know, I feel kind of strange being on this end of the interview, but it's been fun. And thank you so much. It's always great to see you and to talk with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.